morning, everybody. Welcome to my Monday Coffee Talk. This is a platform where I bring stories to you, and hopefully that will inspire you and get you going on a Monday morning. I'm Michelle. I'm a transition coach, and my special guest today is Jerry Schaefer. I met Jerry through a very interesting way of meeting him, because the way that we came across was because we both went to a Eckart Tolle convention. It was last year, right, Jerry?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was last year, and I came home. I wanted to connect with more like-minded people, so I went on to the meetup website, and the meetup website, and then I start looking something about Eckhart Tolle within my community, and then I came across Jerry, and so I went and I met Jerry, and it was just been an amazing journey. So I have my special guest here, Jerry. Jerry grew up in Cut Bank, Montana. It's a small town nearby the Blackfeet Indian Reserve.
Blackfeet,
Okay, that's in Canada, right? Alberta, Canada.
Yes. Yes.
And so Jerry grew up and went through high school, finished the first 3 years of high school, and then you decided that you were going to go to a monastery to study priesthood.
Yes. Yeah.
And after that, you got married, you have kids, and then after the monastery, you decided that you were going to, you actually got introduced to Eckhart Tolle back in high school. One of your classmates introduced you to Eckhart Tolle. And once that happened, that completely changed your life. And that was in 2008?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're here today. I would love to invite you to talk about your story. I mean, how do you go from being in a monastery and wanted to study a priesthood to where you are today? So tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. That was a very good introduction. Well, after I left I went into the monastery after high school. I didn't really know what to do. And I thought, well, if you become a priest, you can do just about anything. And so I was in a community, a monastery, living there, and I was finding out that the monastery, the people there were not really, they were like the people on the outside. They weren't, I mean, we were doing gossip and, we had little cliques. And so at some point I started to get disenchanted, and I thought, well, this isn't quite like a community like I thought it would be an early Christian community in the early centuries. So then I did leave him, but I was continuing. I was kind of on a quest looking, and but it really wasn't until many years later when I discovered read Eckhart Tolle that something resonated. I thought this is what I'm looking for, and so I gradually moved in that direction. And then, so a few years ago, I got this idea about writing this book. I don't know, that the idea just came to me, and I it kind of hit a chord for me. It was something I thought, wow, if I was a little kid and I wanted to read a book, or somebody was going to read a book to me, this would be something that I would have liked to have heard. And I did a little research. I thought, well, the story of you, I looked to see if there's anything like it. I couldn't find any titles like it. So I thought, well, I can use the title.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even find that many books that sort of address this topic the way that I wanted to. So I thought, well, I'm going to go with it. So I did write it, and I worked on it for a while, and then I sent it to a few small publishers. They weren't interested, and so I just put it on the shelf and forgot about it, kind of. And then it wasn't until I was doing this 6-month course in the school of Eckhart Tolle School of Awakening, when some people found out about it. I mentioned it and showed it to them. They were very excited, very enthused about it. They said, "You should write this. I want a copy of this. You should." So that's when I decided to go ahead and self-publish it, and that leads us up to today. I showed it to you, and you liked it. I found some elementary school children, the third graders, to illustrate it,
Mm-hmm.
and that just blew me away, the drawings that they did for it. I mean, it really made it come alive for me. I mean, I wasn't as interested in it until I saw what it could be with the drawings and the way the designer put it together. So that's kind of how it came about.
Hmm. And for those of you who are watching, and you obviously, the book is not published yet, so you obviously have no idea what we're talking about. So what we're talking about is actually Jerry has sent me his kind of like a what do you call that, the manuscript, and with the manuscript, what it contained was pictures of children's illustration, and these are drawn by hand drawn by children, and underneath each illustration, there are words that was written by Jerry. So, Jerry, would that be okay if I share maybe a page with the audience? So,
Sure. Yep.
yeah, so
Yep.
I'm going to read a page for you. I know you don't have the ability to see it, but as you're listening to the words and just kind of feel how powerful it is through those words. So one of the page, it has a little girl standing in the middle, and then there's clouds that's on top of her, flowing by, and there's a sun, shining, smiling on the side of the side, and it's a blue sky. And underneath it, Jerry wrote, "Once again, your sky self is behind the scene, whispering the truth to you. You're gorgeous and beautiful, just the way you are. When thoughts do come into your mind, trying to make you feel bad or sad or angry, sweep them out of your mind with a big make-believe broom. They are simply dark clouds trying to stir up trouble into your peaceful, vast blue sky, your sky self." And to me, that was just the most powerful page for me. So the sky self kind of just resonated with me. I would never imagine myself years before to be part of the nature. I always thought about us being the individual living on the earth, but I never thought about incorporating the whole I am the sky, I am the cloud, I am the sun. So to me, that page was really, really powerful. And Jerry had just such an amazing ability of putting it so well together. How did you come up with those lines?
Uh, I don't know. They just kind of flowed. Once I started writing it and got the idea of the sky self, it just sort of came together. They just kind of flowed out in a way.
So let me ask you this. Writing this book, it almost sounds like it was very intuitive for you. So it just came on. You left it on the shelf for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden you brought it to everyone's attention again at the School of Awakening, and people liked it. So then it's coming back.
Yeah.
How intuitive is that for you?
How what?
Intuitive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's an interesting question, Michelle. I like the intuitive part. In a way, it almost seems like the book was sort of wanting to be written, or it's almost like like kids can go through a lot of suffering, a lot of turmoil in their early years, and it'd be nice if they could see something and realize they don't have to be suffering like that. So in a way, it almost seems like little kids wanted it to be written, or even adults to like some of the adults that were reading it said, "Oh yeah, that speaks to me too," and and so I guess it's all part of the process. I guess the people reading it and saying, "Yeah, publish it," and
Mm.
and me saying, "Well, yeah, maybe it wants to be published, so
Uh-huh.
I'll do what I can."
Yeah.
And it was a challenge, but I said, I'm going to try and do it. And somebody mentioned at the school a publisher, and they're the ones that I ended up publishing with. So it's
Mm-hmm.
funny how it's kind of a flow to it. It seems like that one thing leads to another, and it's kind of the way life is.
Mm-hmm. And if there's one message that you would like to have the audience to receive, what would be that message that you want them to get from the book?
Uh, I think thoughts are not real. That thoughts are not real. One third grade class that I read it to, some of their they were supposed to write comments after for me, and one or two of them mentioned that was very interesting, and they never realized that thoughts are not real. And so I think that's one thing that I like people who read it to take away from it.
Mm-hmm. The thoughts are
And
real. Yeah.
yeah, and also that how beautiful they are, how special and beautiful they are, just the way they are, that they don't have to be anything other than who they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So here's my maybe this would be a very challenging question for you. I don't know. I'm gonna try it. So when I work with the clients, sometimes that's the message I'm trying to get across too. Thoughts are not real. You are not your thoughts, and I think that's the foundational principle of all this, negativity that we carry. Your thoughts are not real. How do you convey that message across to your audience?
That is a challenging question.
Right? Because people would be saying to me, well, Michelle, what do you mean my thoughts are not real? I'm thinking about it. It's real to me. What do you mean my thoughts are not real? So I'm going to throw that to you, Jerry. What do you mean the
Yeah,
thoughts are not real?
yeah. Well, I guess an example would be what that meant to me when I first read it. When I first read it in the Power of Now, I was in a kind of a difficult period in my life when I was in turmoil and I mean I was thinking 24/7. I mean my thoughts were dominating me, really running my life. And I when I read that and I thought my thoughts, and so immediately I kind of struck me that's all that was my whole life thinking. And I realized how negative my thoughts were, that they were giving me pain and suffering and turmoil. And so it was just I think a person almost has to be open to hearing that. Otherwise, like if I had read that a few years earlier, I don't know if I would have recognized it, or if it would have made sense to me. But at the time, my life was just crazy, and it was it was like a relief. Wow, my thoughts are not real. That's amazing. And I just felt like I was a cloud, flying up into the sky without the big burden. So, but to convey that to somebody, I don't know, like some little kids, these third graders, they saw that, it resonated with them, and so it's hard to tell that to somebody. I think it's almost easy to give them a demonstration and say, okay, try not thinking for a minute, or do a mantra, or try to take them out of their mind just for a few seconds, and that, and then if they can experience that and then say, okay, well, that's something to practice, to widen that 1 second gap of no thoughts to 2 seconds.
Right. And yeah, that's a great trick, and in fact, I kind of incorporate that in my practice as well, because it's really hard to explain. You are not your thoughts, and you are not everything that you think of, and you are not all these negativity. But how do you demonstrate that to someone, to convey that to another person? It's through the experience. So a lot of
Yeah,
times I will offer, here, let's try something new here if you're open to it. And,
yeah,
and you have to walk them through that experience in order to show them, you can definitely separate out your thoughts, your negative thought, your positive thought, whatever that you're thinking throughout the day, that you're a monkey mind. I think Eckhart also called it the monkey mind, right? So
yeah,
you have to separate out that monkey mind from yourself. And in order to do that, I have to walk you through an experience.
yes, yeah. You really show them, somehow demonstrate, so they can get the idea that, yeah, that they're
Right.
not real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think what really resonated with me, especially through your bio, in behind the book, is that you say something about after you got exposed to Eckhart Tolle and your life experience completely changed, and you put in quote my life, and then you put it in parentheses, not sure if it's mine. If it's not your life, whose life is it?
No, these questions are getting more challenging as we go along. Yeah, well, yeah, that's I yeah, I'm thinking when I say my life, I'm realizing that I don't that I don't really own it. That my life, it's not really mine. Like I don't really know what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow or next week or next year. I have no idea what the future hold. So in a way, it's like I'm looking to see where I'm being led, or where, say the universe is what has in mind for me. Because now that I'm on this sort of path, it's sort of in a way leading me, see where it goes. Like with this book, what's going to happen? Am I going to be on interviews? Am I going to more interviews, promoting the book? So that's and working on another book. So it's just I don't, I don't, I can't plan so much. I just have to, I'm kind of open to what comes up and seeing what happens more than, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to plan this for next week. I sort of do that, but it's always with an eye to who knows. I don't know what's going to happen.
You're truly living in the present moment.
That's the goal. Not always, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So what does living in the present moment mean for you?
Well, it means when I was having breakfast a little while ago, it was meaning that I was trying to really be with my cereal and berries and milk and coffee and tea, and be present doing that, instead of I wanted to make a little list of, okay, these are the things that I need to do today. This is what I have to accomplish for this coming week, or looking at the funnies in the paper. So there's always that, wanting to be doing something else other than what I'm doing, because all these other things are so important. So it means trying to be doing what I'm doing instead of thinking about what I'm going to do next. And that's the goal. So being in the moment is, if I'm doing what I'm doing when I go to walk my dog in the park, again, if I can just be with the trees and the grass and nature and people coming by, and not thinking.
Yeah. And guys, if you're tuning in, just a refresh memory. I met Jerry because we had a common theme, and that is Eckhart Tolle. We're both big fan of Eckhart Tolle, and we actually practice it. And that's how I got connected with Jerry. And one of the emphasis is, living in the present moment. We are not our thoughts, and you are not controlled by your thoughts. And how do you not control by your thoughts? Is you focus on living in the present moment. And a lot of time when we start to living in the present moment, you'll be surprised how much energy you start to bringing in, that positivity, and it's just that whole magnetic field of energy start to draw you in, and you become this highly vibrating and also very conscious human being, rather than living in the unconscious, doing the unconscious things. So there's a difference between doing and being. And Jerry, to me, when I interact with him, he's resonating on a very higher level of an energy. And I keep telling people that there's different level of energy, and Jerry really is resonating at that level 6 and level 7 energy. And I am just so blown away by every time I talk to Jerry, how much wisdom I can get from him, and that he has to share. And that higher level of energy sometimes may make someone feel a little out there. Do you feel that way sometimes, Jerry, that you're just kind of floating out there?
Uh, no, not so much. I feel uh, my thing that my battery is on low energy. I'm gonna have to.
That's okay. Well, we got a couple of minutes.
Oh,
Hey guys,
okay.
that's Jerry's way of
I,
saying I don't want to answer that question.
oh no, no, that's a good question. My vibrating energy is okay. My phone is running low on on energy. It's actually almost the opposite. What I'm finding is that I'm able to resonate or interact with people that may have been more difficult in the past before I was on this healing path, I guess. And what I'm really noticing lately is whenever I see people, strangers in public. I was just in Santa Barbara at a coffee shop and people walking by, and I try to interact with people, look at people, and they smile. I
Uh-huh,
mean, I get really friendly or loving smiles from just strangers walking by. I mean, we smile at each other,
uh-huh.
and to me, that's amazing. I mean, that's uh, that's something I'm really enjoying.
But so I guess what I'm saying is from other side of perspective, I'm going to play the devil's advocate now, because we may be having that great experience. Oh my God, we're smiling at us. We're having such a great moment. But those who's on the outside, they still have that thinking mind. They're thinking, oh my God, what is wrong with this guy? Why is he smiling and saying hi to everybody? So I think in a way, for those who are still so caught up with their busy mind, and that they haven't experienced those moments where you're just in the full joy and just you feel purposeful, you feel fulfilled. And when you're not in those moments, people may think you're a little different, you're very unique, you're eccentric.
Yeah, yeah. I try to just be with people or meet with people where they're at it and show as much of myself as I think they would like. And so I don't think I come off quite that way, though I might, and they just might not say anything. I don't know.
So, and by the way, Jerry has been going around town doing a lot of comedy shows and doing open mic, right?
Yeah, mostly open mic, not comedy shows yet. But I'm moving in. I want to do that. I want to do like talks. I mean, just to ordinary audiences, but maybe to retreats or things, to do talks around, to inject humor into spirituality, into the spiritual seeking path. Because I think
I
it's
love
funny.
right? And that is funny. And I actually wanted to tag along with you. So one of those days we need to work out, and I love to tag along with you. And in case you run across Jerry and Jerry is giving a talk about the power of now in a very funny way, don't be surprised. That's what Jerry is doing.
Thank you, Michelle.
And Jerry, can you just tell us when the book will be out, when to expect this book to be out, or how do people find you?
Uh, yeah, I wish I knew. There's been some health issues, setbacks with the publishing firm, so it should be out by right now. So I would think within 2 or 3 weeks, it should be ready for publication, and then I can let you know, and you can post the information. It'll be available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, but I think the best place to get it would be from the publisher. It's a Shire's Publishing in Vermont, and so I make that information available, and then I'll probably be going around doing some book shows or signings or something, So
Make sure you send me an invite. I would love to come and support you.
definitely, I definitely will, Michelle. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, in just one word, I know you're a writer, so I know you love to write. But if you can just use one word to describe your future, what would that be? Just one
Joy,
word,
joy.
joy. What does that mean to you?
Uh, I sort of think of dancing Shiva, I think of dancing, and joy kind of go together, and
Mhm.
and the joy of of life. It means the dance of life, or living exuberantly. That's what it means to me, and that's how I feel.
I love that. And again, I think you're resonating at a very high level of energy. We can talk offline about those 7 level of energy that I teach everyone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
On the very top, you're on the 6th and 7th level for sure.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm actually gonna do a webinar to talk about the 7th level of energy. So I'll make sure to send you an invitation, and so that you can come and join me and learn about the 7th level of energy.
Yeah, okay, I would like that.
Thank you so much, Jerry, for joining me. I know your battery power is low, and and it's almost time for us to go.
It's been a delight, Michelle.
Welcome to the show.
It was great. Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody. So I will see everyone on my next Coffee Talk show. And if you're a writer, author, coach, anyone, if you have a story to share, go ahead and click on like and make a comment and send me a message. And I would love to have you on my show. I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.